So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. A lot of you guys are using LinkedIn. A lot of you guys are using LinkedIn or expecting to use LinkedIn heavily for lead generation. And if so, we want to make sure that we master that. Like I said, separate ourselves from the crowd. There's some things that we're going to go through today that will greatly help you. First of all, let's just revisit and make sure that we don't ignore. We have created a way that instead of talking to people that have been squeezed down to the point they're very interested in what we have to offer, we've inverted that funnel on the front end, and we've created it very large to the point that we're just opening conversations, getting to know people, offering help, introducing some of our mission and our brand, and those messages in sequential order creates a pipeline of communication and conversation. And out of that, you get, sometimes nothing. Sometimes you get partner conversations, client conversations, referrals, but it does do one thing like Alana was showing you, helps fill up that calendar, helps fill up the tier 1 contact through a way that's non-threatening, non-sales pitchy. And I've heard from a lot of you guys the feedback, it's so easy, it's so comfortable, I'm not nervous. So understand there's 3 steps to this. Number 1 is getting the messages out, scheduling the calls. Number 2 is getting a high enough percentage of those people make those calls. And number 3, mastering the art of the presentation, the call. If you guys have any questions about this, once again, let us know. Continue to do that. If you're just sending out a first message, you are leaving business, money on the table. So some stats you need to know. There are almost 700 million users. 57% are men, 43% are women. There's 30 million companies. An ad on LinkedIn can actually reach 12% of the world's population. And sponsored in-mail, which I really didn't know this, has a 52% open rate on average. So if you're doing those in-mails, 1 out of every 2 on average is getting open. More than a quarter of Americans use LinkedIn. Over half of them have a college education. Engagement has increased by 50% year over year. I'm going to tell you why that's important and why that's going to stop at a certain point and why you have a golden opportunity right now to establish yourself. 4 out of 5 people drive business decisions. Cost per lead on LinkedIn averages 28% lower than Google Ads, and 40% of monthly active users are daily users. People use it to create leads, and people also use it for extensive lead generation conversion. So it's very important. It also drives traffic to, what you're doing, other sites. 90% of the social traffic was driven by the big 3 networks, with half of it coming from LinkedIn. So it is a juggernaut. And the number of conversions per social platform, LinkedIn just kills the other one. So understand that when we put LinkedIn at the top, we put Facebook underneath it, and you say, well, what do I need to do for Twitter and Instagram? Nothing until you start to learn how to master these other platforms. So LinkedIn is an excellent opportunity right now. And if you look at the numbers, there's 9 billion content impressions on LinkedIn feed weekly. There's only 3 million users that share content weekly. So what does that mean for us as an opportunity? Lots of eyes, much less content. Understand where we are, where LinkedIn is in the cycle, how it's not going to last forever, and if you establish yourself right now, it pays big dividends in the future. So what do I need to be successful on LinkedIn? Well, I need followers, and I need content. But if I'm brand new to LinkedIn, guess what? Yes, I'm going to establish my connection to start to do that daily, but I can just, with good content, I don't even need a lot of followers, because the good content is going to get spread across the platform, attract new followers, and get me the type of visibility that I need to grow my network. So the platform that is the king of content is LinkedIn. And when you understand that and how to apply that to you, your marketing, your business, you can really go off to the races here. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Videos should be worth about 1.8 million. So when you look at content and we talk about, the next couple of years, how much of the IP traffic is going to be video, yes, you want to get into the mindset of progressing with that and understanding that if I put a little time, energy, effort into learning something, and it attracts me a lot more visibility, a lot more engagement, a lot more sales, a lot more partners, definitely worth the time invested. If you need to understand what is good content, it's as easy as looking it up on Google. You can always educate yourself. Killer content ideas to post on social media, video content ideas to post on LinkedIn, content that gets engagement on social media. You can read here. You can go over to YouTube, and somebody will run you straight through what works, what doesn't work, what you should be posting. So you've got enormous information, education at your fingertips. If you invest a little bit into self-development, in a situation like this, it pays huge financial rewards. So let's talk about LinkedIn. Let's get into the algorithm. Let's get into what we should be doing and some tips. LinkedIn knows the more visibility they give the marketers right now, the more they're going to use LinkedIn, which promotes LinkedIn as a platform. Pretty easy to understand, right? Once they reach scale, they'll decrease organic visibility to sell more ad space. That's also pretty understandable, right? Same place Facebook was 8 or 10 years ago, LinkedIn is right now. So you have the opportunity to go out there and have a huge organic reach before they reach scale and start to do what Facebook does now, which is put pressure on you to spend money to reach people. So it's not going to last forever, so take advantage. You probably have, I don't know, 18, 24, 30 months, I really don't know, to get in here and place yourself as, top 3, 5%. And once you do that, even when it changes over and they're promoting more ad space, revenue, income for them, you've got your organic reach already set up. They can't take that away from you. Also, stuff on LinkedIn stays much longer. I was explaining to somebody the other day, they were asking about Twitter. Twitter's basically like the stock market feed, the ticker. Stuff's there, gone very quickly. Stuff on LinkedIn will stay on feeds for days or even weeks. Any person in your network comments on your post, it's going to show in their feeds. It gives your content a true viral effect by pushing it out. Posts can be still circulating weeks later. I don't know if you guys have seen something. Maybe you like something, and then several weeks later it comes back to your feed with a lot more engagement. Like, wow, that was there a while ago. Good stuff will stay in circulation. So this is it, guys. This is the LinkedIn algorithm, and you can take a look at it. You can screenshot it, do whatever it is that you want to. I'm going to break this down into a very easy to understand equation for you that I think anybody with little to no LinkedIn experience will start to understand how to use it. So this is what the algorithm, when it's analyzing stuff that's coming through and filtering it, this is what it looks for. But like I said, let's break this down into a very easy to understand equation for us. It's in-house plus velocity. That's all the, yes, good content is important, but that's all the algorithm really wants to see. It wants to see something in-house. And yes, it has filtering systems for stuff that's not good, but the other way that it really checks to see if this is quality material and quality content is the velocity. How quickly is it getting, some of that engagement? And when so, it re-registers in the algorithm, hey, people are liking this. This is good content. Show it to more people. Pretty easy to understand. Now, the in-house part means that LinkedIn does not want you, or LinkedIn does not want any of its platform participants to leave the LinkedIn platform. So they want you to stay in LinkedIn, and they want you to create velocity. Once you learn those two things, you're going to be able to master the algorithm. So inside versus outside, what does that mean? Well, it's as simple as, does the person have to leave the LinkedIn platform and go outside to get, all of your posts? For example, if you're sharing links, if you're to a blog, to another URL, to a landing page, to a website, guess what? That's outside. And LinkedIn's going to suppress that because they want you staying inside the LinkedIn platform. So it's as easy as when evaluating a post, are they going to stay or are they going to go? If they're going to stay in the LinkedIn platform, check mark. If they're going to have to go somewhere else, I'm not saying don't post that, but what you have to understand is LinkedIn is going to suppress that post because you're going outside the platform. So in-house plus velocity. And the velocity is as simple as understanding the engagement. So for example, if you are posting something with an outside link to a URL or anything else, a YouTube video, then they're not going to give you the kind of visibility that you want and that you're probably looking for. So, don't collect the $200, go directly to jail. So the algorithm is looking for in-house plus velocity. So the velocity is the quick engagement. How soon after you post something is it getting likes? Is it getting comments? Is it getting shares? Is it getting reactions? This produces traction for whatever you posted. And that traction can lead to, velocity, and that velocity can lead to a viral post. And once you do that, and you're able to do that on a recurring basis, you're going to own much of this platform that very few percentage of people actually do. So let's go back to the basics first. We're going to revisit some of that stuff, but if you guys are out there using LinkedIn, we need to make sure that we are visible, first of all. If you're out there posting the greatest post in the world, if your profile is not visible, you're not sharing it really with anybody. So in the back end, you want to make sure that I show everything. You know, whatever you want to find out about my profile, you can go in and you can find out. I'm as public as I can possibly be. I'm a marketer. That's how I want to be. So once again, you need to have a public profile. You need to have things visible if you're going to use this for marketing purposes. You also, if you're not, in a W-2 job, you need to take your profile out of that kind of framework. So turn your profile into sales and marketing machine. Delete all that resume type info. So this is an upfront pitch. Everything that you do is trying to do two things: attract the right type of partners into your business and attract the right type of clients who are raising their hand, wanting help, wanting additional information. So make sure that your profile does what it's supposed to do, which is creating lead funnels. Your most valuable real estate is your banner. So you got to create a powerful headline. What's in it for me to connect with you? How are you going to help the prospect move from their pain towards their pleasure? How are you going to help them solve their problems? How are you going to help them get more prospects, recruit more team members, close more sales? Remember, that's the thing they see when they go to that's the first thing. That's the over your head, hit you with a hammer. This is what I do. This is what I can do to help you. It's got to be straight to the point, and it's got to lure people in to, see the rest of what you have. And then the rest of what you have is going to be streamlining down to a really good, what they call a sizzling summary. Tell your story in your summary section, but make it relatable to your prospects' pain and struggles. There's a reason, you guys, why we've been teaching for months and months and months about not selling product, not recruiting people, but solving potential and real problems that people have with solutions that lead to action steps. So let your prospect know what you've been through, what you're going through, how you found that solution or answer to the problem. Share it with them. Use the feel, felt, found method. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And what I found was, or when I found this system, use emojis. Those help bring out, some aesthetically pleasing characteristic to your summary. Add videos to every single section possible. If we're moving IP traffic to mostly videos, video is going to do what you need it to do. It moves a prospect from cold to warm to hot without ever speaking to them. Think about that. If you can be out there creating cold into warm into hot before you ever speak to somebody, that's a great position to be in. And when you're talking to people, also images are another way to add color, create interest, and draw attention to something. And then remember, if you lead somebody down to nowhere, if you just lead them down and just leave them somewhere, then you have failed. You have to have a call to action every section. So register for a free webinar, download a free guide, get more information on a product or service, watch a video, complete a survey. Action step is after a solution. If there's no action step, doesn't matter what solution you propose, there's nothing for them to do to take the next step. So always have a call to action. And then endorse your connection for their skills. One of the ways that I like to do this, especially if I get like off an intro call, a help call, a How Money Works call, and it's gone real well, and I'm sending information over that I'm going to follow up. After that call, one of the things I do is I endorse them for a couple skills because it goes right back to their feed. Mike Amos endorsed you for marketing and, whatever, strategy. They see that. It's another positive interaction they've had with me. It can help you. Connect with influencers in your industry. Try to connect with their connections. Remember, if somebody's doing what you want to do online, follow them, learn from them, connect with some of the people. And then join groups. Groups are a great way to go out there and meet new people, get your information out, get seen, and then get creative and think outside the box. This is the most important part of, I think, the way that we approach social media is not being locked in that comfort zone. Whoa, what if somebody doesn't like this post? What if it's controversial? What if I made a mistake? All of that stuff is keeping you in that comfort zone, and it's not allowing you to go forward and grow. All the growth comes outside the comfort zone. So just because it says so doesn't mean it must be so. When creating and editing stuff, for example, in this right here, use the title field for the name of one of your programs. Use the company field for attention-grabbing headlines. Use location field for a website page. So you don't always have to fall in line and do exactly what something says. You can get creative and use things for your own benefit. And once again, the more you stand out, easier it is to attract who you're looking for. So let's talk about the engagement, and let's talk about how to get there, what it means, and why it's so important. Engagement is any measurable interaction, and that shares, comments, likes, clicks. And, this is very basic information, but clicks, the number of times a piece of content has been clicked, number of times it's been shared, number of times it's been liked, number of comments that somebody's left on there, the number of follows that have acquired a piece of content, the impressions, how many times it's been viewed, and the total engagement. Total engagement is just the culmination of everything that's going on in that particular post. So what's going to make you stand out in 2020? And we're going to get into some examples here, but overall, you still have huge organic potential. Organic means you don't have to pay out of pocket to get in front of somebody. It's the best in terms of generating warm leads, meaningful connections, or just engagement. Don't connect with random people. It drags down your engagement rate and confuses the algorithm. You should have certain people on the client side, certain people on the partner side that you want to connect with. That's why we develop these personas. You can't be everything to everyone. Who best can you work with, connect with them, start communicating with them in a way that offers solutions. Use the search to find your true target audience, and this is very important. The more you define who you're looking for and the more that you build the audience around there, easier is the algorithm is going to understand what you're trying to do, help you out. Use certain keywords, hashtags to call out who you're trying to reach. LinkedIn will boost the post of those people. If you're talking to a digital marketer, if you're talking to an insurance agent, call them out. Hey, marketer, hey, insurance agent, do this, do that. Send connection requests with a personalized message about why you would like to connect. Now, this is something that some people do, some people don't. I don't send personal connection invites. I just send the default. That's totally up to you. A lot of people recommend a personal one. It's half and half, really, what you want to do. I don't think it's going to matter too tremendously, make or break either way. Focus on video content. We talked about this. Create a mix of pre-recorded, live video. Once again, live video is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of you guys. Doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. You see a lot of the stuff that other people are producing. Get outside your comfort zone. Realize that you got to place yourself in a vulnerable situation where people are going to react to you. People are going to see you on. Just get over it, guys. This is a new era. Embrace it. Connect with your audience through personal stories. We talked about this last week, and we will continue to talk about it. When you have a great image and a great story of outcome, success, transformation, people are attracted to that, and you can indirectly get them interested in really what you're all about on the back end, whether it's a product or a service. Use the first and second lines of your post to write a really engaging hook. Remember, just like we talked about last week, if you're doing Facebook advertising, that continue reading, see more, it A, means that you wrote a good hook, but also B, to, for example, on the Facebook algorithm, it shows when people are clicking that they want more, and it's defined as a good post. Always interact with engagement. Don't kill a conversation by saying, hey, great point, thanks for commenting. Try to keep it going. Once again, it'll be a learned skill, and use curated content to keep your audience engaged. That's stuff that you can bring to people. It's actually going to help them out in terms of what they're trying to do with their business or with their finances. Prioritize quality over quantity. Now, on LinkedIn, you should probably post 2 times a day. I think that's pretty good. But if you've got a really good post and it's one post in that day, don't go out there and put just a real crappy post to get your second one. Quality is really what's going to get you what you want. And don't focus solely on creating content. You need to focus on promotion to get good results. You need to, the art of marketing, learn it. All right, let's talk about content that works on LinkedIn. People want to know you. I told you guys this story a few months ago, but I was listening to a Gary Vee webinar one time, and he was taking a question from a guy who had a really small mortgage company, and he was asking Gary Vee, how do I compete, in social media with these guys who are so big? Gary Vee says it's about you. So if you're going somewhere, going on to do X, Y, or Z appointment, and you spill coffee on yourself and you hit a bump in the road, people want to know that. People want to know you. I know it sounds a little bit odd, but people want to get to know you. They will be attracted to authenticity. They'll be attracted to you being real online, and that will attract the right type of people. People want to know you, your passions, your sense of humor, what makes you someone worth paying attention to. You have valuable stories to show and share. you know things, which is why you're doing the work that you're doing. Once again, the mission, why you do what you do. Sharing your knowledge, expertise, experience on LinkedIn can help other people achieve their dreams. Once again, if you're offering value in the marketplace, you're going to get value returned back to you. Treat LinkedIn as your main and unique platform. We talked about this earlier. Part of the algorithm is in-house. You've got to keep things in-house. If not, they're going to suppress your post. Commit to both hosting and promoting your LinkedIn content. For example, if I go post something in LinkedIn, then really to make the algorithm in LinkedIn happy, I should be going out in Facebook and in email marketing campaigns and stuff, trying to drive traffic back to that LinkedIn post, because the more people who hit it from outside coming in, better the algorithm is going to say, okay, this is good stuff. Let's keep pumping it out. Tell your LinkedIn status update, or take your LinkedIn status update and cross-promote or cross-market. We just talked about this. The key is getting the URL in front of people right away to drive engagement. You want to get as much attention to that post as quickly as possible, and we're going to end this meeting today telling you guys how we can work as a team and little groups to help us individually and help us as a whole. Don't use it as a content promotion channel. Don't try to send people other ways, other platforms, other networks. Stay on LinkedIn. It's going to take some time and repetition, but once you start to master these little concepts and put them in, day out, LinkedIn algorithm is going to start to adjust more favorably to what you're doing. Use hooks and stories. We talked about this before. Last week, we talked about the good hook. We talked about the body of the story, and we talked about the call to action. The hook is going to make or break you. So an engaging hook is critical to stop people from scrolling. On LinkedIn, you get 2 sentences to set the hook. It'll be ... see more, continue reading. A good hook will get that critical initial engagement needed to set the content viral. So space out your text. Make sure that you hit that continue reading. If you're not quite there, space it out a little bit more to make sure it gets there. Questions, asking for advice, stating a point of view, leading off with stats, success stories, small victories are all great hooks that if you can work on perfecting and getting good at, you're going to start to see your engagement go through the roof, and that should lead to pipelines of clients and products. So let's talk about some hooks and some stories. You got the relatable story, things people can relate to. You got the lesson learned. What happened to you in your business where you learned a lesson? That might help other people that have already been in that situation, or going forward, maybe help them avoid a situation. The thought provoker, getting people thinking about something. The open-ended question, getting people out there, encourage engagement. The personal moments that's happened to you. The controversial point of view. Stay away from politics, stay away from religion, but hey, I don't need physical office to build nationwide distribution. I don't need a team of 400 to do this, or whatever it might be. Keep it business related, and be prepared for people who, don't agree with you. And if you're the type of person that you're not there yet, you don't have the tough skin yet to go out and read those kind of comments, then, avoid that one. But understand, once again, going outside your comfort zone is going to help you. The giveaway, you're giving away something for free. The ego bait, maybe I saw something by Grant Cardone or Gary Vee that I really liked. I call, hey, Gary Vee, hey, Grant Cardone, thank you so much for this training. Be careful of that. You don't want to get spammy with that, but that's another way that you can create a hook and engagement. The hack, something useful, something very quick to the point that will help other people in your industry or around your persona, maybe with what they're dealing with. So tip number 1. Once again, we're reinforcing write text-only posts on LinkedIn. So if you're pulling something from the WealthWave system, that's great. You may just want to copy and paste what you're trying to put out there instead of trying to send them to a link, because once again, if you have to leave LinkedIn to get to something else to finish the post, that's not in-house. LinkedIn's going to suppress that. Use emojis in your LinkedIn post. It's aesthetically pleasing. It spices it up a little bit, draws attention. It works on both email subject lines, and it works on posts as well. Like your own LinkedIn post. Now, you got to be careful. One time I read where this is kind of like high-fiving your own self, but if you get some engagement, you want to recycle something, recirculate something, might be a good time to do that. Share and embed your own LinkedIn posts. Once again, if LinkedIn wants you to stay in-house and you go out on Facebook, you go out on Twitter, you go out on anything, and you have the URL to that LinkedIn post, and they're getting traffic from outside the platform to the platform, it's going to show the algorithm, hey, this is a good piece of content. People coming from off-site to see it. Let's get it in front of the eyes of more people. Comment on other people's posts. That goes through feed. That gets you out there. You know, it's got to be a two-way street. You know, give other people some feedback if you want feedback as well. Use LinkedIn native video. I hope you guys understand what that means. That means if I am taking a YouTube video and posting that URL, they've got to go to YouTube to see the video. Algorithm's not going to like that. If I upload an MP4 version where all they have to do is sit on LinkedIn under that post and watch the video, algorithm's going to like that. Number 7, encourage engagement in the first hour. Remember, the velocity of the engagement with being in-house creates what the algorithm likes. So if you're getting that engagement in the first hour, it's going to speed up in terms of what the algorithm sees to get this in front of more people. Don't post too much. 2 times a day is plenty on a platform like this. Don't include more than 3 hashtags per post. So 3 relevant hashtags is good. Don't be that person that's got lines and lines and lines of hashtags. It's going to go from something that will help you to hurt you because it starts to look real spammy. Tag people only sparingly. Don't be that person that goes out and tags 20 or 30 people you barely know into a post. If somebody's done something for you, you interacted with them, okay to post, but do that sparingly. And I just started this. So if you're brand new to LinkedIn, you got a couple thousand connections, your main objective is still to build that connections. But if you got 10, 15, 20,000 connections, what you might want to start to do is use the follow first strategy. And back in your back end, you can actually enable where follow will be the primary action where members view your profile. So instead of connecting, they're going to start to follow you, and you're not limited to 30,000 like the connections. You can have as many followers as possible. And LinkedIn.com, P settings, allow follow, this little link shortcut to get there. So once again, if you got a decent amount of connections and you are really looking at LinkedIn going forward as a powerhouse for content and engagement, you might want to switch it over to followers and start to gain enough followers, because what people have said is that their contacts still pretty much keep up, same rate, but their followers start to increase exponentially, and that will greatly help you. So let's talk about, just the things that will also help you guys when you're thinking about, well, maybe I'm not so good of a writer, I really don't know what to do. It's very easy these days to get ideas. Research engaging content ideas for LinkedIn. Reddit, Quora, both of these places you can get ideas about, hey, people are asking questions, people are posting stuff, and you can see what other people, want to know about, what the answers are, and you can take some of that and create long-form LinkedIn posts out of it. Publish longer LinkedIn posts to activate the See More feature. We talked about this. Make sure that you've got enough on that hook where they have to click on continue reading, see more. And if you are, now remember, don't publish 6+ memes at one time. That's not what we're talking about. But if you're somewhere for your business, for example, like when we were at the Wealth Wave conference in January, that's a great opportunity for you to put multiple pictures in a post, because just like the content, see more, that's the picture version of that. You got a bunch of pictures, see more. Once again, it's good for the algorithm. Share valuable PDFs on LinkedIn. Do you guys know that this space right here, you can upload PDFs and other documents, create a post out of that. And once again, if you've got a 4-page PDF, they're going to have to flip through it on that. The more engagement you're getting, the more clicks, the more of the stuff that you're getting, the more the algorithm likes it. And finally, learn how to play to the LinkedIn algorithm. Those people that are getting a lot of engagement out there, they're not any different from you. The only difference is they learn the algorithm, how to play to it, and what needs to happen, and give themselves enough chance, over enough time period to put these things in place and have it compound. Like I said, you got about another 24, 30 months to establish yourself as one of the key content and engagement people on this platform before it comes to more of a paid advertising service. Best time to post on LinkedIn. Even though one size doesn't fit all, most marketers have found success Tuesday through Thursday, typically between the hours of 8 and 2, depending on your time zone. The worst time to post is on the weekends or outside of business hours, which are 9 to 5. Just a helpful hint there. LinkedIn is dying for you to get involved right now. They're still in that growth stage where, like I said, Facebook was probably 8, 10 years ago. You might think that these tactics are just generating fluff and they're not really important when I'm talking about engagement and awareness, but these are critical parts of the buying process. Remember, People don't do business with companies they don't know. They don't do business with people really they don't know. With all the noise on the web now, it's harder and harder to break through without paying for it. You still have an opportunity on LinkedIn. Use this as an opportunity to create value in your market, spread your reach. While it may not result in direct sales, it's going to help your overall marketing efforts, and that will build. What I've seen on LinkedIn, people come back to me, hey, I've been watching you, I've been following you. I just got a phone call yesterday. The guy's like, hey, I've been following you. Can't believe you guys have been doing this virtual for so long. I'm struggling, this, that. Watch the videos. I'm following up with them today. Very easy, guys. When you show interest in helping other people and show interest in serving the marketplace versus selling and recruiting, big things start to happen for you. LinkedIn has a very smart algorithm. If you want to target digital marketers, we talked about this earlier, call them out. Hey, digital marketers, look at this tip. Hey, insurance agents, do this. If you call out who you're trying to reach, LinkedIn actually sees that, and they're going to boost your post to those people. Once again, I got the persona. I know who I want to be in front of. Let's call them out, and let's let the algorithm know, hey, this is who I'm trying to get in front of. Algorithm will help you if you did what they want you to do. Stay in-house. You don't need to have a big following to get a big following if you're good at content. So what we need to do is individually, we can do some. As groups and units and teams, we can do a lot more. And it's going to be very clear to you guys what I mean. So your homework for this week is obviously to review this. I think last week on the transformational stories combined with Facebook advertising, combined with this week, LinkedIn algorithm, you've got some gold that if you're willing to go out and put a little energy into reviewing this stuff, learning this stuff, implementing testing, can separate yourself from the crowd. So biggest thing we can do in a business model like this where we've got a lot of teammates coming in is work together and attack this. So one of the things that you have to understand in your network, my network in LinkedIn, you have something for teammates. And under your teammates, you can put manager, reporting to manager, direct reports, or other teammates. I don't really care where it goes. When you start to add teammates, guess what's going to happen? So if I add Alana as my teammate and Alana posts something, I'm going to get something in my newsfeed notifications that say, hey, Alana Amos just shared a post. What does that do? I'm going to go help Alana out. I'm going to go to it. First of all, I'm going to make sure, does it pass the litmus test? Is it in-house? Does it look like a good post? If so, I'm going to like it. I'm going to comment on it. I'm going to possibly share it. And if you can form groups of 10, 20, 30 people that are alerted to each other's posts, if they're decent posts, we give each other engagement, guess what? Algorithm's going to love that, create velocity. And instead of what we could do as an individual, now we're attacking this platform as teams, little platoons, and we'll get the type of engagement and the type of reach and visibility that we're looking for.